Hello, and welcome to Talk Fast TV, the home of YouTube content and podcasts for the hottest new bands around. Today I'm joined with Jack and James from Gecko Club. Here we speak about the beginnings of the band and where they want to go from 21 and beyond. If you enjoy the video, give it a like, share it, subscribe, and all the rest. Other than that, enjoy, guys. Cheers.
Yo, man.
There he is. How you doing, man? You all good?
Yeah, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'm Jack as well. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, bro. Nice to meet you. I don't know where James is. I haven't spoken to him. Maybe he'll remember. Maybe he won't.
I'm right above you, mate.
Yeah, he's got his alias today, Lisa Watson.
I had it.
Cool, guys. Well, glad to have you both on, man. Yeah, this is just a little kind of lockdown project I've created, really. YouTube channel, going to put it into podcast form as well. And it's just like new bands that I've sparked an interest in. Kind of want to hear about their journey and maybe see them at the start of their journey if they're taking their music and where it's going to go. So, yeah,
that sounds good, man. That's wicked.
I suppose there's
are we live?
Well, we can edit whatever we want out. So if you want anything sorted, we can do that. But yeah, this will be the general.
Yeah, all
right, this is the general interview. Yeah.
Wicked, man. Yeah, cool.
Who we got with us today, then, lads?
I'm Jack, bass player in the Gecko Club.
And I'm James, lead singer and rhythm guitar player.
Sweet. And well, with these so far, what I've been doing is I've been heading straight back, right back to the start. Do you remember like the first time you both picked up instruments, and who your early influences were in like life, like musically?
Yeah, go on, James. You start, man.
So since being home for Christmas, visiting my parents again, I was watching a few old like baby videos, and I think I was picking up a fake guitar and trying to strum it at like age 3. So that's kind of where the like music interest came from. I didn't actually start until second year of uni, so I guess I would have been 20 there. Yeah, kind of just they had a music society at uni, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I kind of spent a summer learning how to play. Well, I say learning. Now Jack won't believe me too much on that, but learning a very basic understanding of how to play guitar just from YouTube, and then turned up to a few open mic nights in Leicester. And then it kind of just started from there, really. But yeah, me and Jack have known each other since we were kids anyway, and I think even when we were young, we used to speak about like doing music together. Back when I used to play drums. So yeah, I think it was always kind of destined this was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, really.
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely that. The for me, my first instrument was in, I think, year 4. So I don't know what age that makes me, but it was the clarinet. Pretty sure my mum would never let me play the drums, which I wanted to play because my uncle and my granddad were both drummers. So she'd just grown up with a life full of drummers. So I think she's a bit sick of a drum kit being in the house. So yeah, I wasn't allowed to do that. And I remember playing a clarinet at some after school like orchestra
standard instrument stuff.
yeah, one of those things. So yeah, pulled out the clarinet, did grade 2 on it, and then really didn't fancy it, so stopped. And then then similar to James, just didn't really start anything musically properly. I mean, I had the odd guitar lesson here or there, but I didn't really pick up a bass until what year did we do open mic, James? 2017. Yeah, so probably the end of 2016, something like that.
Cool.
That was when I first played a bass, and that was actually our drummer Jono. Got him to thank for it, really, because he knew I could play like a few notes on the bass, which isn't too hard. But he kind of forced me into playing, like jamming with him at what is now our studio. It was his brother's studio at the time. So that was kind of the first time I really played with other people as such. And then Jono turned out is our drummer. So
I used to play like a bit of piano when I was younger. My parents like put me through all these piano lessons, and then I just didn't really fancy it. And then I remember I didn't practice for one of my grades, and my teacher took me into a sixth form common room, and she made me sit down and was like, "Can I have everyone's attention, please? James is going to play his like exam piece," knowing fine well that I didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
And yeah, I must have been about like 10 or 11 at this point, maybe even younger. And I just kind of sat there and bawled my eyes out. And then ever since then, I kind of just gave up with music up until I got to uni really. So it was almost done there. So cheers to that teacher wherever you are.
You kind of figured out you could sing at uni. I'm right in saying that, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was uni was basically it, to be fair. I used to go to a lot of open mic nights there, and like just saw people doing it all the time, and I really wanted to get involved with it. And yeah, as I said, kind of like learn the most basic guitar I could, just to kind of turn up to these open mic nights and get joined in really. And then I was lucky enough to bump into a bloke who was like studying music tech at the uni, and he offered to do an EP with me, and then kind of just started solo stuff from there until eventually us two kind of combined and did the open mic competition. And then off the back of that, we kind of formed a band that we always kind of wanted to do, and then that kind of leads us to where we are now really.
Yeah, sweet. Was there any like gigs that you went to, like maybe at uni, maybe a bit before, where you remember, or festivals possibly, and you were like, fuck, this is like what I want to do, is like I would love to be up there, that's what I want to be doing, not like out here, even though I'm having a good time out here, I want to be up there, like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess it wasn't clear, like I'm pretty sure James is the same, but like we've always been massively into music, and like as always kind of, well, for me my first ever gig was McFly, so that's what I kind of rocked with a bit when I was in primary school, so enjoyed that. That was at Wembley Arena. God knows when it was, to be honest, I don't know, but yeah, that was my first ever gig. But I think the first time I realized that I wanted to be on the stage was probably when I saw Blink play at Reading, Blink 182 play at Reading. It was only in 2017. You know, I'd been to plenty of gigs before then, but it was only, I think, just because of how Blink are in terms of they're not exactly the greatest musicians. So I'm sure they are now, but Mark and Tom definitely aren't very good at guitar and bass. And it kind of just showed to me that anyone could just do it if you just do it. Not taking away, like, obviously you can be really, really good at guitar like Jimi Hendrix or something, obviously, but all you got to do is actually just do it and start playing an instrument and then start playing on stage. So that was it for me with Blink, really, because of just how they are. If they just picked up guitars and started playing music as well, and I was like, oh well, if they can do it, then why can't I? So yeah.
Sweet.
I used to be a massive Yumi at Six fanboy. I'm quite embarrassed to say. So those were the first few gigs I used to go to. But I think me and Jack met in Portugal when we were quite young, and we'd only ever see each other there. And one of the first times we actually met up outside or back in the UK was to go see Sticky Fingers. I think when you came up to Leicester, was that the first one of ours together, or was that?
Yeah, that was it. 21st of November 2015. I can remember that one for sure.
Came to visit me in uni for the first time, and we went to go see Sticky Fingers in this tiny venue. Where I used to a few open mic nights at uni, and that was the first kind of gig we went to together. I think that definitely must be a kind of
I definitely feel them vibes coming from your music straight up. Well, when I first listened to you guys, and it said like it was described as like surf rock, I was like, these guys have got to be Aussie, because they sound so much like they've got influences from like Sticky Fingers, Ocean Alley, Hockey Dad. I'm like getting all of this, and then I was like, what? They're from London. These guys are what? like, so yeah, I could definitely feel
it. It's like obviously we listen to Australian bands, like that's kind of all it's with, and especially the sound and style and everything. Every time I start, obviously I love hearing that from people, but I've never heard it myself. Obviously I love being compared to them, but I don't know. I don't know about you, Jack, but I've never thought, we sound really, really like them.
Yeah, I agree. I guess like vibe maybe is a bit similar. But yeah, no, I do agree, to be fair. I think like a lot of people that a lot of artists that people say are pretty accurate, but Sticky, I guess, I mean, it sounds similar, you know, kind of thing. We're going for a similar vibe, but yeah, I do agree as well. I don't think we sound particularly like them. I think we sound like other people, definitely. But
it's definitely a
yeah, I
compliment.
mean, they are one of, if not the biggest influences. So it makes perfect sense as to why we do sound like them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. And the name Gecko Club, where's that one been plucked from, or is it top secret?
Not top secret. It's not top secret at all. Do you want to spin it, James?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so me and Jack met when we were like 10 or 11 years old in Portugal. Our families just happened to be holidaying at the same place at the same time. And we'd kind of go back to the same place with our families every year for the same 2 weeks. So up until about the age of 18, when we could start driving, we'd see each other for like 2 weeks every year in Portugal. Gecko Club was actually the name of the kind of really terrible nightclub we used to go to there.
Okay.
So we kind of thought it was only right to name it after our own stomping ground, really.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. This was the summer holidays place to be. I know so many people from mates that, like, you know, different times as well, that have holidayed in the same place, and yeah, it's like kind of, it's one of those clubs that, you know, when you're kind of 15 to 18 and you can get in, it's like the time of your life. And then every time we go in there, just for old memories, old times' sake, if we go out to Portugal. I mean, I haven't been out for a while now, but yeah, it's a bit strange when you're older than 18, to be honest. But it's one of those classic holiday clubs that everyone has had a good time in.
Nice. I actually thought for a second there when that story was, I thought you were going to say it was like the animation team at the beginning. So I'm glad to hear it was a club at least. That's sweet though.
Yeah.
Very apt.
Yeah, it's definitely, we spent a lot of time there, obviously, when we were younger and that. And even our song we brought out called Gecko Club not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's basically just all about the club really and our experiences in it, and just kind of what a terrible but fantastic place it was. So if anyone ever is out in that part of Portugal, definitely go give it a visit if you're under the age of 20, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you have memories of your first gig as Gecko Club? When you first, like, kind of, your first gig really,
Yeah, we played, well, it's a bit annoying because have you outlined open mic at all?
Nah, not
Nah.
really.
Well, yeah, anyway, we did some competition and won some competition, me and James, and then, like, just as a duo. And then we actually played our first ever gig as a band under the name James Nielsen, which is really annoying because we had some nice, like, O2 tickets printed out because we were playing at the O2 Islington. And it says James Nielsen on it instead of Gecko Club. But yeah, man, it was a wicked night, to be honest. Like, all of our mates came down. So we've been doing the band for a few months. So yeah, we had tons of people there, and well, yeah, it was a class night, to be honest. I think we had a good party after as well. But
well, our lead guitarist at the time, we talk about this all the time, but our lead guitarist who was in the band, we think that was his first gig, but it was actually one of the very first few times that we'd actually ever met him.
Okay.
So we definitely had our first rehearsal with our guitarist on the day of the show, like a few hours before. And then we kind of just turned up and we're like, these are what we're playing. Can you try and do something over the top of it? And that's kind of how it carried on with him in the band ever since, really. He was just kind of good enough to turn up on the day. He used to live in Brighton, so we didn't really practice with him much. But he used to just turn up to gigs, and as he did in the first ever gig, and kind of just play whatever he played on top of our songs, and it always sounded absolutely incredible. It kind of made it even more of a standout first gig for us, for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was wicked. Other than for the actual gig, I don't really remember much of it. It's one of them things, like, you kind of, it's all happening, and like, I don't really. The only thing I do remember it properly is that just there was a bright light straight in my face, so I can see anyone. Which is I wanted to see out and see all my mates and that. But yeah, no, it was a wicked, definitely a wicked gig and a wicked night.
Sweet. So guys, obviously COVID smashed, obviously touring and performing this year. if say by June next year it's kind of maybe fixed a little bit, this whole situation, what would be your plans going forward for 21 really and beyond?
Oh, well, we a lot of stuff we had booked for this year that we were meant to be doing. We had quite an exciting year lined up. A lot of it has been postponed, so kind of expecting to do it next year, but obviously the situation is always changing. Don't really know. But if everything was back together by June, we've got a Holland tour booked with our mates, the Koalas, who are a Dutch band, like sick psychedelic reggae band. Everyone should check out.
Cool.
But we had a tour booked with them it starts on the last weekend of June, I think. And yeah, we'll just go to all the cities in Holland, play a Madness Festival, which is a small like surf skate festival at the top in northern Holland on one of the islands.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so there's a festival up there, and then we'll be driving back for a few festivals in England, and yeah, we'd probably look to do a little UK tour later on in the year as well. I mean, we'll definitely be playing around the UK, dates around the UK as soon as stuff gets good. But we'll probably try and line up a little week or something on the trot around the UK as well. But I mean, yeah, if stuff comes back sooner than I think it will anyway. We have got a few things already in the diary, which is nice to have because obviously, if we are able to do it, then it's there, and we aren't rushing around trying to book new things or try to get last minute slots at whatever festival. So it's nice. We do have a few things in the pipeline, but yeah, I mean, obviously, it all depends on COVID, really.
Yeah.
And vaccine rolls through smoothly. Obviously, it's been like heartbreaking losing everything we had planned for this year, and I think if that carries on through next year, it's gonna be a big hit to morale. But yeah, we're just kind of praying that all happens really, and it'll be our first time outside of the UK as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting tour.
And what would be like your ultimate dreams like for the band?
For the band, I don't know. It's obviously, we're just
one day being able to go to Australia and tour. They obviously said like we've heard from a few people that, like you said, our sound is very similar to the people we listen to out there, and I think we've all said it would be an absolute dream to go out there one day and kind of just play with like-minded bands, really. So that would definitely be on like a kind of long-term goal.
Nice.
Yeah, look, an Australia tour would be wicked, but obviously it's a classic. Like everyone wants to headline the Pyramid stage at Glastonbury and stuff. But that's a pretty mental one. For me, it's just I want to just have at least a year or two of just smashing it up and partying and driving around to all these places and playing shows around the UK and EU and North America. I'd love to do a North America tour just because it's so long. So
yeah, true.
There's not really any like set in stone goal other than just to keep progressing and keep building our lovely fan base and all that stuff, really. But yeah, Australia tour, I'd say that's more of a short-term goal, maybe like within 5 years. And then maybe Pyramid stages in 10 years. I don't know.
Well, lads, I've got some, I've been doing a couple of quick fires with the bands I've had on so far, and they've been going down okay so far, so we'll give it a little go, yeah?
Cool.
If we want, we'll have a bit of order in it, yeah? We'll go first question, James can answer, second, then Jack, and then we'll go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, cool.
All right. At home or on the road?
On the road, definitely.
Nah.
Okay. In terms of band, in terms of like,
in terms of you personally, definitely.
Me personally, at home. If it's in terms of Gecko, then yeah, definitely.
We've got up north or down south?
Down south, because I spend most of my time down south anyway. But big up the people up north. You're all very nice.
Cool.
Much nicer than Southerners.
This was actually for an Irish band, this next question, but UK or USA? It's still going for you guys.
UK.
Sweet. On the beers or on the wine?
Oh, beers, yeah, beers. We were
John,
trying to get sponsorship from Red Stripe.
John would definitely be on the wine though. He like that would be his rider every time, a bottle of red.
Yeah. Arenas or festivals? What would you rather be playing?
Oh, festivals.
Yeah, I know.
Sweet. Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Rolling Stones. That's tough.
By the ocean or in the mountains?
Ocean. Yeah, definitely ocean.
Sweet. Vodka or whiskey?
Whiskey. Vodka's not the one.
Yeah, that's for the Gecko Club, isn't it? The original Gecko Club.
yeah, probably. Vodka Red Bull.
This is a bit of a random one as well, but John Lennon or Bob Marley?
Bob Marley.
Sweet.
Definitely.
And then finally, for both of you guys, go-to karaoke song.
Bloody hell. I think the one I've spun most is probably Don't Look Back in Anger or Champagne Supernova. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
I've surprisingly not actually done karaoke. I think I've done karaoke properly once. I went to a pub and was a bit too confident one night and gave If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys a go. And as you can imagine, that went absolutely terribly.
Oh, shit.
So I think off the back of that, I don't think I'll be doing any karaoke's in the near future. So,
no worries at all. Well, thanks a lot, guys. It's been a pleasure having you on, and look forward to seeing you on the start of your journey. Definitely.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Wicked, man. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, well, good. And hopefully, when you're back out on the road, I'll come to one of your shows and we'll have an interview in person as well.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Where are you from?
I'm actually not too far away from Leicester, in the East Midlands.
Oh.
I'm from
Sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, not too far from Leicester.
All right. Well, we'll let you know when we're playing in Leicester.
Sweet.
Or Nottingham or something.
All good, lads.
Nice. Legend, bro. Safe, man.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
And you.